Hi children, the continuation of the reproduction and flowering plants where I left Cleistogamous flowers, Chasmogamous flowers, which is cross pollination, self pollination. Is it possible? In which flowers, what kind? I have explained already. So, same, the continuation. Mention two strategies evolved to prevent self pollination in flowers. Self-pollination involves transfer of pollen from stamen to pistil of the same flower. Two strategies have evolved to prevent self-pollination in flowers are as follows. So, in certain plants, the stigma of the flower has the capability to prevent germination of pollen grains and hence prevent the growth of the pollen tube. It is a genetic mechanism to prevent self-pollination called self-incompatibility. This may be between the individuals of the same species or between individuals of different species. Thus, incompatibility prevents breeding, which is pollen pistil interaction, incompatibility. In some plants, the gynoecium matures before the androecium or vice versa. This phenomenon is known as protogyny or protandry respectively. This prevents the pollen from coming in contact with stigma of the same flower. What is self-incompatibility? Why does self-pollination not lead to seed formation in self-incompatible species? Self-incompatibility is a genetic mechanism in angiosperm that prevents self-pollination. It develops genetic incompatibility between individuals of the same species or between the individuals of different species. The plants which exhibit this phenomenon have the ability to prevent germination of pollen grains and thus prevents the growth of the pollen tube on the stigma of the flower. This prevents the fusion of male and female gametes along the development of the embryo. As a result, no seed formation will not take place here. So, I have explained in class what is a bagging technique, how is it useful in a plant breeding technique. In what is artificial hybridization, what is emasculation, what is bagging technique I have explained. That only now you have to write here. Various artificial hybridization technique, various crop improvement programs involve the removal of anther from bisexual flowers without affecting the female reproductive part through the process of emasculation. Then these emasculated flowers are wrapped in bags to prevent pollination by unwanted pollen grains. This process is called bagging. So, removal of anthers you will do in emasculation. Then you cover the stigma with a cover of polythene cover that is called bagging. This will be ready for artificial hybridization. So this technique is an important part of the plant breeding program as it ensures that pollen grains of the only desired plants are used for fertilization of the stigma to develop the desired plant variably. So what is triple fusion? Where and how does it take place? Name the nuclei involved in triple fusion. So this one I have many times explained. Triple fusion is the fusion of male gamete with two pollen nuclei inside the embryo sac of angiosperm. When pollen grains fall on stigma on the flower, they germinate and give rise to pollen tube that passes through the style and enters into ovule. After this, the pollen tube enters between one of the synergids and releases two male gametes there. Out of these two male gametes, one gamete fuses with the nucleus of the egg cell and forms zygote. The other male gametes fuses with the two polar nuclei in the center of the to form triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Since this process involves the fusion of three haploid nuclei, it is known as triple fusion. It results in the formation of endosperm. Why do you think the zygote is dormant for some time in a fertilized ovule? The zygote is formed by the fusion of male gamete with the nucleus of egg cell. The zygote remains dormant for some time and waits for endosperm to form, which develops from the primary endosperm cell, resulting in the triple fusion. The endosperm provides food for the developing embryo after the formation of endosperm. For the development of embryo from the zygote starts. So when it comes to fruit, as in 11th standard you learned what is fruit, pericarp, what is true fruit, false fruit, like that. Why apple is called a false fruit? Which part of the flower forms fruit? Fruit derived from the ovary, but from the accessory floral parts, so it is called a false fruit. It is not true fruit. On the contrary, true fruits are those fruits in which fleshy part develop from the ovary, but don't consist of the thalamus or any other floral parts. In an apple, the fleshy receptacle forms the main edible part. So this is apple is a false fruit. What is, see, there we have discussed about what is bagging. But again they're asking, if they ask the question, answer will be the same, but the question they will ask, they'll twist and ask you. You should be able to know the answer what to write by understanding the question. So the answer will be same. You should understand the question means when they are making it reasonable logical questions. Here, what is meant by emasculation? When and why does a plant breeder employ this technique? So emasculation is the process of removing anthers from bisexual flowers, example like hibiscus, without affecting the female reproductive part. You should not disturb the pistil. Only pollen grains you have to remove, or anthers, top, bilobed structure. So emasculation is formed by plant breeders in bisexual flowers to obtain the desired variety of a plant by crossing a particular plant with the desired pollen grain. So after removing the anthers, the flowers are covered with a bag before they open. This ensures that the flower is pollinated by pollen grains obtained from desirable varieties only. Later, the mature, viable, stored pollen grains are dusted on the bagged stigma by breeders to allow artificial pollination to take place and obtain the desired plant variety. So what is the differentiation between hypocotyle, epicotyle? Coleoptile coleorhiza, the small differences are there in Tegument testa and Pericem and Pericarp. This is for 3 marks. They will, most of the time they will give. When they are asking for 3 marks, you can write 2-3 points for each difference. So the portion of the embryonal axis which lies below the cotyledon in a dicot embryo is known as hypocotyle. The portion of the embryonal axis which lies above the cotyledon in a dicot embryo is known as epicotyle. It terminates with the radical hypocotyle, whereas the epicotyle terminates with the plumule. So, coleoptile, it is a conical protective sheath that ensures the plumule in a monocot seed. It is an undifferentiated sheath that encloses the radical and the root cup in a monocot seed. So integument, it is the most covering of an ovule. It provides protection on it. It is the outermost covering of seed. It is the residual nucellus which persists. It is present in some seeds such as beet. It is the ripened pericarp is the ripened wall of a fruit which develops from the wall of an ovary. Write a neat label diagram, explain 7-celled 8-nucleotide nature of the female. It is very, very important. You have to prepare for this. Definitely this question is repeating every time. So there are guarantee marks of 5 marks from this question. So if you remember the diagram, you can do more over a explanation. This is a simple and clear diagram which is showing chelazal and antipodals, polar nucleus, central cell, egg cells, synergids, filiform apparatus. The female gametophyte embryo sac develops from a single functional megaspore. Thus, megaspore undergoes 3 successive mitotic divisions to form 8 nucleotide embryo sac. The first meiotic division in the megaspore to form 2 nuclei. One nucleus moves towards micropylar end while the other nucleus moves towards chelazal end. Then these nuclei divide at respective ends, redivided to form 8 nucleate stages. So it is undergoing multiple divisions, mitotic divisions, because it is a vegetative cell. As a result, there are 8 nuclei, each at the bottom the ends, that is at the micropylar, chelazal end in embryo sac at the micropylar end. Out of 4 nuclei, only 3 differentiate into 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. Together they are known as egg apparatus. Similarly, at the chelazal end, 3 out of 4 nuclei differentiates the antipodal cell. The remaining 2 cells of the micropylar and chelazal end move towards the center are known as polar nuclei, which are situated in the center of embryo sac. Hence, at maturity, the female gametophyte appears as a 7-celled structure, though it is a 8 nucleate. Though it is a 8 nucleate, the gametophyte appears as a 7-celled structure. So with this, I conclude everything. So I hope you understand the concept. When you're reading, when you're not understanding, read repeatedly, understand the concept. Self-reading will give you the best results. Hope you understand everything. Perform well in exams. Don't leave any questions to answer, because it will unnecessarily make you the reduction in marks. So please attempt all. Don't waste time on writing for too much explanation for 2 mark, 3 mark. For 1 mark question, you give a single line answer which is prominent and correct, straight. For 2 marks, give a 2, 3 lines. Then 3 marks, 5 to 6, 7 lines. And definitely which are easy first attempt, then go to the tough. You divide the paper, which section is easy for you first. Give a 1.5 page, 2 pages for 5 mark question. Write, elaborate. You should know the pattern of writing, and write completely information wherever diagram is necessary. Label the parts and write the answer properly, point by point. If you write point by point and underline the important word, then examiner, whoever correcting the answer sheet, they will tick wherever the technology terms are there. They will correct those. It will make you get more and score good marks. Thank you.